Hello, good evening, everybody. How is everyone doing? Good evening. Please hit that like button as you guys come in. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys have had a good day. We're going to talk a little bit about Destiny and her dating situation in the Huntsville streets. We're also going to talk about Nell and her family dynamic, Nell and Chris and the family dynamic. This episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville was very heavily focused on Destiny and what Destiny has going on, with her dating a bunch of people. And then if we then fast forward to Miss Nell, so we also see Miss Nell and we see Chris. We already know that Nell has a very interesting family dynamic, which is definitely low key toxic. But yeah, we already know there is a very weird dynamic with the family. And so we will be talking about that as well. Didn't I tell y'all that Tommy is ready to stand for her girl? Tommy is ready to fight for Stacy. Stacy needs to cut you a check, honey, because you be defending that lady every week. Okay? So you see, she's ready to defend. I will give you the opportunity to defend. Maybe for your sake, I will even make sure I put a little pepper on it so that you can come and fight for your girl Stacy. Okay? But yeah, it's all fun and games here anyway. Like it's all lighthearted. So feel free to disagree with me in the comments. Bajan has her popcorn ready to enjoy tonight's show. But yeah. So Love and Marriage Huntsville. This episode was pretty much about Destiny and her dating situation. And it was about Nell and the kids. That was all the episode was about. And I can be honest and put my hand up and say I don't miss Tisha. I don't miss Kimmy. I don't miss none of the other people, if I'm being completely honest. I'm not saying that this episode gave much, but even with the little that it gave, it was better than the usual episodes that we have anyway. Destiny in this episode, right? Bottom line is Destiny is now dating. Destiny has been seen to be hanging out with Twan and Will. So she went on a first date with Will at the Fletcher's event. And now the second date, which I guess is the official date, is where she went roller skating. Now, interestingly enough, I saw some people had an issue with her dress to roller skate. Let's be honest. She had no plans of proper roller skating. So, yes, she wore a dress and she looked good in that dress. So, I'm not going to be one of those people that would be on her about wearing a dress to roller skating, guys. Like, when we put it in perspective, it ain't that deep. She wore a nice dress. She wore a nice dress. Um, but my big thing is Destiny needs to date the people out of state, honey. Stop dating the people in Huntsville. Stop dating people in Huntsville. It is obvious that these people know each other. These people are, these people are basically intertwined. How is it that Will and Twan know each other? He said they are friends and they go way back. And this is why I say, like, Destiny is such a small circle to be dating the same people affiliated with the people that you already know. It's like dating 101. Nobody is saying you can't be a single girl dating as many people as you want to date, but do they have to all be in the same circle? Do they all have to be friends? Do they all have to get the opportunity to be talking about you keeking ha 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 about the kind of dates you went on? Right? So I personally would feel very, very weird being involved in that sort of situation. Nobody's saying you can't date, you're a single woman, go over there and date as many people as you want healthily. Of course, don't be giving them, the PP, but like, do, date. But you don't have to date friends. You don't have to date god brothers, for goodness sakes. I appreciate she didn't know about Will and Twan, but if she wasn't dating it within that same circle, there's a less likelihood of that even happening. So that's where I stand. It's like, ugh, Destiny baby, I don't like the way, you're all up in there. It's just so weird to me. Choo choo all around the Dustville. Mm-mm-mm. That is definitely what it's given. And I don't like that because I feel like women are constantly shamed for dating, but men can date. And so I really never want to be that person that shames somebody for wanting to date. You should date and, date date until you make sure that this person is for you, right? Before you commit, right? And I definitely agree with what she said about not sleeping with everybody that she dates, but at the same time it's like, girl, stop dating the people in the same circle. Of course they know each other. It's common sense, right? Swan and Will being childhood friends was so hilarious to me because she literally just dated Lance, that was Twan's friend, probably why he was saying hit and smash. Exactly, and this is the thing. These men are not going to have they're not going to have respect for you if they feel like you're going from friend to friend to friend. You've already dated Lance. If I were in her situation, and I'd already dated Lance, no matter even if I really want to date one, I'll be like, all right, no, I've dated one friend in that group. Enough is enough. Keep it moving and move on. Because even if they didn't smash, I feel like they probably did some things. This is just my assumption, right? Allegedly. I don't know it to be a fact. I just feel like something probably happened between the grown people, even if it didn't lead to sex or whatever. So, from my perspective, going ahead, even when you then found out that that's the god brother, still going ahead to go on a date with the god brother is a bit odd to me. That's just not how I would roll. And I feel like it's a bit too close for comfort. And so I'm really not surprised how things are playing out for her. I'm really not surprised about how it's playing out because there's no way it's not going to play out like this. Let's be for real, right? You're out here dating about and stuff. Of course, this is how it's going to end, right? If you're dating within the same circle, of course they're going to know each other. So I'm gonna need her to, baby, go somewhere 2 hours away. Okay, go there. I don't know. Go for an event over there. You're a business owner. Go to a networking event 2 hours away. Meet some new people. They can buy your products. They can get to know you. And then you can see someone, a few people that you could date. When next you're in Atlanta, well, I don't know if Atlanta is the best place to be dating according to the streets, because, well, I've never been to Atlanta, but from what the streets are saying, they're saying Atlanta is not the place. But whenever she's anywhere else, like, meet some people, talk to other people. But the Huntsville streets, yeah, I'm gonna need her to please go over to a different place today at this point because they can't all be knowing each other. It doesn't look good. Imagine says the circle of life. Absolutely. It's given rolling around in the circle, honey. It's like, please, at this point, and it was so embarrassing how all of them were laughing and saying, okay, so she's dated Lance, and now she went on a date with you, Twan. And then, oh, who's she gonna like next? Chris. And it's just like the fact that they get the opportunity to be laughing about it, it's just like it never should have even gotten to that point. But it's because you still proceeded knowing fully well that Twan is the god brother. He was literally at family dinner. That is so weird. It's like they're practically brothers. That man showed up to family dinner and was already intertwined with the group, for crying out loud. The fact that nobody really thought, oh, he and family, nobody mentioned anything about the god brother being there, shows me that he be over there at the house. So why would you date this man's brother? Even if it's a business date in quotation marks. I don't know what business you're trying to do with the man, but the conversations was anything but business. It was anything but business. So no, we're not falling for that nonsense. So Tommy is telling you all to please hit that like button as you come in, and I completely agree with her. Smash that like button, please, and thank you. Tommy says she needs a date. She needs to get on a dating app or something. Absolutely. I think she needs a dating app. She needs a dating show. Maybe on the dating show, they can bring her eligible bachelors that are not just in Huntsville. Give her more opportunities to spread her wings, right? So I would say, yes, she definitely needs to branch out. So if On can do some sort of dating show for her, have her on the show, but then again, I suspect they want to have multiple people on the show, but it's just her. So I don't know how that's going to work. But she said that Will was her bodyguard. What does she need a bodyguard for? This is the thing. It's like all these bodyguards, I don't see what there's a need for that. And the fact that she kept saying, "Thank you for guarding my body." It's like if I had a bodyguard, I'm not going to be telling them thank you for guarding my body. It just sounds very suggestive. And this is why it's like nobody can take you seriously when you say you had business conversations or it was a business date, because you're over there talking about thank you for guarding my body. Like, are you okay? Like, it's given you guys you were on your little date, but you don't want to call it a date, so you will call it a business date, so that when things like this happen, you can say, well, we were talking about a business date, but yes, there is attraction there. It's like you're not fooling any of us. Bajan says, I ain't dating any of my friends' exes now, and they all making notes. Absolutely. I'm not dating nobody, none of my friends' exes. Let me give you all a story time. So one day I was just out and about, and then this guy, he was good looking, tall, like my type. He walked up to me and started talking to me. And I remembered that his name sounded familiar. He has a very distinct name, right? And his name sounded so familiar that I thought, I have a friend who has told me about dating this person. So right there and then I was like, oh, do you know someone called this? And he was like, no, that name doesn't ring a bell. I just knew deep down that Ninja was lying. So guess what I did? I reached out to the girl. I haven't spoken to her in like years. I reached out to her and I was like, oh, I met a guy today. This was what he looks like, but I remembered you used to tell me about him like years ago, I think. Is that him? And she's like, oh, yes, yes, they dated, but like I can date him if I want to. I'm like, geez, sis, I would never, I do not want your ex. Okay. I'm like, now that I know you guys are related, you guys done dated before. No, thank you. He's like, no, she was like, no, honestly, you guys can date. I'm cool with it. I have no issues. He's a nice guy. I'm like, sis, I said, no, I will not be dating somebody that has dated my friend before. Bear in mind that this girl used to tell me about them and when they were doing some intimate things, and she'd be telling me about it. And I'm like, no, girl, I do not want your sloppy seconds. I do not want no parts of it, even though you guys do not go all the way. No, thank you. But yeah, that's a little story time for you guys. So, no, I did not date the ninja. I did not date him. So for me, not to talk of somebody's god brother, this was just a friend's ex, right? Not to talk of a brother. That's just weird. Tommy's like, why would he lie? This is the question, right? I feel like, y- some girls would have just taken his word for it and just said, oh, she doesn't, oh, no, no, he said he doesn't know her, da, 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 and dated the guy. He probably thought I wouldn't go and ask her, since he told me he doesn't know her, right? But I just felt like he was lying, because I was like, she also has a very distinct name. She's the only person in this life that I've ever heard with that name. So for him to basically say no, I was like, nah, I don't know. There's something about the way he said it that gave me the impression he knows her. He's just lying. And so I was like, yeah, nah, I do not want your sloppy seconds. I do not want to be parts of it. And the weirdest part of it was it felt like she was like trying to get me. She was really like trying to get me to date him. She was like, yo, he was such a nice guy. Like, no, like you can date him. I'm like, no, sis, I do not. If he was such an amazing guy, why did you guys end things? And either way, I'm not interested in your sloppy seconds, especially when I know all the crazy ass things you guys were doing. If you go, even though you guys didn't go all the way, but I know some of the things y'all were doing, so I do not want no part of it. Okay. But yeah, Bajan says sloppy seconds. Yes, nah, not me. Yuck. Exactly. I do not want to know nothing. Not with that mouth. No, thank you. So yeah, definitely not here for it. Um, but she said that Will was her bodyguard. What does she need a bodyguard for? This is the question, right? Like, I genuinely don't know what she needs a bodyguard for. As far as I know, there hasn't really been any encounters or anything where it's been that has been like that has come up as, oh my god, there's a safety issue with Destiny. She needs a bodyguard. Like, I don't really know. I I don't think I've covered anything that gives the impression that there's a need for bodyguards. Like, as far as I know, there's never been any sort of altercation, like physical altercation with anybody or someone harassing her in some way that she needs security for, as far as I know anyway. Unless I can't remember now. But so yeah, it baffles me that she needs a bodyguard. But even if you need a bodyguard, then just focus on the bodyguard and keep things professional. There's no need for you to be like being flirtatious with your said bodyguard. Just keep it professional. Bajin says, I ain't dating any of my friends' exes now, and they're all making notes. Yep, absolutely not dating nobody's ex. Nope. Anyone that I know, no thank you. I don't want to be part of it. I don't want to, especially if you were also talking to me about the ex. Imagine, like, I just remembered back then she would call me and say, like, oh, I went out with this guy. He was this, he was that. We kissed, we did this. And I was like, okay, girl, like, wonderful. I'm glad you're enjoying yourself. And then fast forward, like, literally 10 years later, this man is trying to move to me. And I just couldn't believe it. But anyway. Tommy says, yeah, dating Lance's godbrother is really weird, honestly. Absolutely is. It absolutely is. I don't understand why she even thought that that was okay. And I think the fact that even with like okay, fine, I understand like Lance had a baby that was completely unacceptable, horrible. Like, how are you going to have a side baby when you're dating Destiny, in quotation marks? And I say that loosely because I've also heard allegations that it was all storyline. I don't know what it is between all of them. um but either way, it's just a little too close for comfort. And it's a little bit like, care about appearances a little bit, at least. Tommy says, y'all, let's hit that like button and drop popcorns in the chat. Honestly, that could be a new thing. I kind of like the popcorns in the chat. It's kind of fun. So guys, drop some popcorn in the chat. Why not? Bajan says popper next. Tommy says, can we talk about Will? That man is an embarrassment. I can't believe he was advising Ken like, sir, you literally have terrible track records. Absolutely. And the interesting part is when he used to advise Will, most people, including myself, probably thought, okay, he sounds intelligent. He seems to have a little bit of, wisdom to be able to advise properly, right? When you think about all of that, and then you fast forward to the person we're seeing on TV with 4 kids, with 4 baby mothers, literally making jokes about wanting to hit it and quit it at your grown big age, right? You're laughing and kicking with the boys like it's not on reality TV and it's not going to get to the girl. It's like, what are you doing, sir? It's like you're really going outside. And it is honestly so embarrassing just watching Will just show all of that. In a way, I'm glad he did, because sometimes with these men, they like to pretend to be something that they are not, and pretend that, like, oh, I want to be monogamous and I want to date you and I really want to take you seriously. So I'm glad that Will exposed it all. He wasn't trying to be out here pretending to be something he is not. On that date, if I were Destiny, I would have picked up my bag and just said, nice to meet you, thank you for the day, I'm out. There's no reason for you and I to be having these conversations whilst the red flags are flying left, right, center. This man literally told you he doesn't have a tattoo because he has commitment issues. Right? I don't have a tattoo, but I just choose not to have a tattoo. But to then align that we're having commitment issues, I was like, honey, mm-mm-mm. Think about it. That man done told you left, right, center that he is not looking for anything serious. He is unable to commit. You mean to tell me out of those four girlies or ladies that he had a baby with, he couldn't commit to one of them? Not one of them was enough, right? Was what he was looking for and ready to commit to, right? So that honestly just puts things out there and it's clear. That man ain't trying to date nobody. He is just trying to hit it and quit it, like he was saying to Martell. And yes, he definitely has a terrible track record. Now I understand why Ken was not answering and doing whatever he was advising, because with somebody like Will, yeah, you can't take Will's advice, honey. Mm-mm. But you know what's funny though? People like Will, I bet they give good advice. They will give advice they would never take. They would never do, but they would give such good advice anyway. So it's more like do as I say, not do as I do. But anyway, yeah, those are the kind of men that you want your friends or you want your boyfriend to stay away from, because you don't want a person like Will putting those little things in your man's ears, right? Thinking that that is acceptable behavior when it isn't. I think Will was telling her, you ain't the one, I just want a bed buddy for now. Yep, I think he told her in so many different ways. So many different ways. And so not here for that. Destiny's from man to man, but tried to fix her kibble lip to say that Melody was trying to groom her. And I say that because, I don't want to say the word. Martell and she was GRMing each other, but never Melody they wish. Absolutely. For me, that was the most disgusting thing that somebody can say about another person. And it's like making baseless accusations like that can cause serious issues. So, yeah, I'm definitely, yeah, from that moment, I think like that was it for me when it came to Destiny. Like I've always thought, yes, lies, da da da, but I think that was the hype for me. And for me, I don't think there's really anything, unless she does a complete 180. I don't think that there is really anything that she can do to change how I feel about that situation. Unless, like, complete moving forward, I'll still feel the way I feel about the situation, but maybe that might change how I feel about her if she consistently shows that she has changed and takes accountability and openly, just as publicly as she said what she said, take it back publicly, please and thank you. It was very, very disgusting. And yeah, we definitely should not be roaming around in the streets behaving like that. We can't just be out here, putting those kind of serious allegations out just like that. So yeah, I'm definitely with you on EB June on that. Yep, I'm with you, Badgen. I agree. That was disgusting. The disgusting lie she tried to put on Mel. Completely agree. And Tommy is here with the popcorn, honey. Enjoy. Exactly. To be honest, I respect that he was very truthful because he let her pick her slippers off and run. Exactly. I respect those people, not the people that lie and pretend, act like they ain't married, but they are married. Yeah, because that happened to me recently. But anyway, maybe that will be story time for the members only, honey, because I don't want nobody calling me on the phone because it's a recent incident. So yeah, that would be a story time. Maybe for the members only. But when she walked into games night, Ken was speechless. She deserves all the smoke she has been getting, I will say that. But yeah, I think she definitely has shown, to be honest, Will showed enough that if she still goes on a second date with Will after that, whatever she sees is on her. To be completely honest, it's like at some point, right? Like whatever you have to take accountability for your part now, because that man has shown you left, right. He has shown you in, excuse me, in multiple different ways what he is on. So if she decides to still date that man, despite everything that he has said, then that is up to her, honey. She has, it's now up to her. Maybe she likes to cry, you know? So we'll have to wait and see what happens in the next few episodes. But yeah, I need her to stop dating the same men from the same circle, because these men will talk, they will talk about you. If you make the mistake of going out on a date with one of them and even kissing one of them, especially if it's Will, the way Will is opening his mouth and gums and yapping everywhere, he will be talking about it and he is not going to let it go. So if I were you, make sure, don't even, I don't care if one day you really felt, a little bit like, ooh, you wanted a little bit of comfort. It's not Will. Will is not the one for that. Just putting that out there, just in case you, Destiny ever listens to this, and one night she's feeling froggy and she decides to call. Please don't call Will. You're better off calling someone completely different, not Will. Nobody from that show. To be honest, nobody from that show. Because anything you do can be used and will be used against you. Just so you know. Because think about it for a second. Did you guys pick up that Nell was giving the impression that Destiny missed Will, not Will, her son Lance? Like Destiny came over to speak to Lance, and it's just like, wait, what? So this is what I mean about you can't even do nothing quietly. So even if, let's say, she was trying to do a drive by and, like, check up on Lance and, like, for old time's sakes of or whatever, she can't even do that quietly, because now Nell knows about it and Nell brought it to the show. The thing about Lance is, at least Lance did not say anything about it on the show, so we would not have known about it. But Nell had to be the one to bring it up and talk about it. And so, you see, some like, Destiny, you can't even do nothing. You can't even, these are not the people you're like, oh, I just want to be comforted. Let me call Lance. You can't even do that. Because now Miss Nell found out about it because she was there. And then it's on TV. Now we know. So now you're going to have to come up with a good story as to why you were over there at Lance's. At least she has enough time between now and the reunion to come up with a good story. So hopefully she does. Talking about when Dusty walked in with Will. Yes, it was just like, you could tell that Ken was just like, what is this, honey? Like, Ken was not here for it, and I don't blame the man, because Ken knows the kind of BS his bro is on. Men know their bros, right? They know the kind of BS their bros be on. They know, yeah, they know consistently who this man has been. So it's like, you're not about to now show up, and then it's on some madness, right? So I feel like they all know that.